Hey guys, it's me. I know it's kind of early in the morning. It's like 3 in the morning. I get it, but I will be doing another live stream about this later on. But I just wanted to come on here and talk about something that kind of set me off yesterday. And, it's not something I ever thought about. Well, I thought about it, but not in a long, long time. And this is something that's very real, and that is how, if you guys don't know, my ex Rebecca did try to get back with me yesterday and a whole bunch of stuff, and it wasn't good. But I want to talk about something, and that is how my ex Rebecca mentally abused me, how she broke me down the way that she did, and why it's hard for me to even be with anybody because of that. You see, I met Rebecca on this site called antibody.com, which was eventually to become Anaspace, which is now no longer around for whatever reason. And if you guys don't know what Antibody or Anaspace was or is, it was basically kind of like a MySpace for anime fans. Like, I was on there from 2008 up till just very recently when the site got taken down by the owner, Luffy. Which, for whatever reason, nobody still knows exactly why the site got taken down for good. We don't know. But me and Rebecca met on there about, I'd say, probably 2011 ish. I don't know, it was after that. So it was probably about 2013 when me and Rebecca met. We started out as friends, the usual thing. And, eventually we wound up getting together. And everything was great for the first couple months. We were talking all the time. We were constantly texting each other and, you know, talking to each other on Facebook and everything. Like, everything was good, or so I thought. You see, over the course of time, after everything was going good, she started to kind of distance herself. And basically, all in all, what she did was she made everything seem like everything was okay one day, and then next day she would want to leave me. Next day she would leave me. Day after that she would, come back, and then next day it was just this constant cycle of that. And within that cycle, when we were talking, she was just really taking her anger out on me. Like, and she would call me names, say that I didn't deserve to be happy, that I didn't deserve anybody, that I was worthless. And at one point, when she wasn't doing that kind of stuff and everything was normal, she was talking about doing some really gross, disturbing, just vile, disturbing things that even to this day make me sick to my stomach. Like, and as much as it grosses me out to talk about it, I am going to tell you what she did. As disturbing and as nasty as it is, And I don't blame you guys if you get sick either. Because even now it makes me sick just thinking about it. There was one point where, and God only knows where she picked this up from, but there was one point where, God, this is so fucking embarrassing and disturbing to say, but it's true. She basically wanted to hold me, you know where, while I was using the bathroom. And she would not only talk like that, she would, in text, treat me like a little kid. She would make me feel like everything was my fault. Like if me and her got into an argument that she started, I would get the blame every time. Every time she would blame me. And after a while, I started to feel like it was my fault. I felt like, maybe I couldn't do any better. And that maybe these arguments were in fact my fault. And I not know it. And me and her were together for about 4 years. And during that 4-year period, like, it was really just a constant on and off thing. And, and me being the person I am, I really tried to make it work. I kept telling myself, just stick with it. Like, she's going to change. She's going to change eventually. Like, she has to put an end to all this at some point and change. And I had that mindset for 3 years, 4 years straight on. And everybody was telling me and started noticing that I was acting different. I was lashing out at people. I was just not myself. And it came to a point where, unfortunately, I did lose a lot of friends because of it. Because they tried telling me, hey, we're noticing this. We're noticing what's going on with you. You need to get away from her. And me being blinded by the mindset that Rebekkah had me in, I blew it off. I blew my friends off, and I didn't care. I was in that mindset of, because of her, the mindset that she put me in was, I don't care who I lose, as long as at the end of the day I can still be with her. Because she's my everything. She's the one, I can't do any better than her. And that was the mindset that she had me in. Constantly put me down. She would physically, I guess you could call it physical in a way. She would abuse me through text. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like role play type games or anything like that. But for those of you that are, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, she would, like, smack me and hit me and all this stuff just through text messages. And it might not have hurt physically, but emotionally, it broke me. It broke me down so bad. And that continued on, like I said, for 4 years straight. And around the final year, when I finally realized what was really going on, because one of my true best friends on the entire planet, not saying that none of you guys aren't my friends or anything, I do care about every single one of you, But this guy is literally my brother, practically. Sean Sands and a couple others. And, even my now past brother, Zach Hussein, noticed it. And he brought it up. They both brought it up, actually. At different points, they're like, dude, we're noticing what you're going through. You need to get away from it. And at first, I didn't know what mental abuse was. I didn't even know that was a thing. I was like, because Zach and Sean both are like, dude, you're being mentally abused and verbally abused. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what's mental or verbal abuse? Because I never heard those terms used before at all. And they explained to me what verbal abuse is and what mental abuse is. And at that point, I knew I had to escape. I knew I had to escape the relationship some way. And it was very, very hard. Like, I tried many times to leave, but I just kept going right back because of the mindset that Rebekkah had me in. And because she had me dependent on her. Like, I needed her. Like, I couldn't do any better than her. Until finally one day when I was sitting down talking to, a couple bands that I know, like Suicide Silence. I was talking to some of the members of what was left of the band Suicide Silence. And, I was talking to Chris Garza and a couple others, and just hanging out talking with them. And they sent me a song off of their Black Crown album that I didn't realize was on there. Like, and if it was on there, like, I must have skipped it or whatever. But I was sitting down talking to Mark and Chris at the time, and they had sent me the link to their song. They're like, dude, check this song out. It'll help you. And the song was actually the song called Witness the Addiction. And if you guys don't mind, I am going to play a little bit of it for you so you guys kind of get a good understanding of what the song is about. Now, if any of you guys are metalheads, you guys will know. I used to wish that I could fly, spread my wings and fly away, cross my fingers for a day, wishing for a better way. So take my hands, take me away. I close my eyes and even pray, wishing for a better day. Now, if you guys don't know, that song is basically, talking about addiction. And if you guys did not notice, in the very beginning, I'll actually read off some of the lyrics from the very beginning. Alright, here's the lyrics. I used to pray, wishing for a better way. Nothing changed, I lost my faith, praying for a better day. And what those lyrics are talking about is something that I did every day. When I was being mentally abused, I would always pray that it would come to a stop. And I tried hard many times to fight out. And it was almost like, and for a while, I felt like she was addicted to me or I was addicted to her. At one point, I felt like I had become addicted to being abused. At one point, I almost felt like I actually enjoyed it. Because she had me in such a messed up mindset that I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to believe. And when Chris Garza and Mark had sent me that song, rest in peace to Mitch Walker, God rest your soul, man. We all love and miss you. But, when they sent me that song, it made me realize that I need to get out of this relationship and fast. And it took a pretty good year and a half of, fighting, just fighting up the courage to finally say enough is enough and to just get out. And let me tell you, I was actually doing something. I was sitting down playing a game on my Kindle at the time with some friends when I was listening to that song. And just something in me clicked and made me say, hey, I need to get out. And now, before it's too late. And I'll admit, after I got out of the relationship and I told my family and all my friends that I need to get out of this, I need help. And sure enough, they did everything they could to get me out. And no matter what I did, they weren't letting me go back. And it's one of those situations where I was mentally destroyed, and I still am mentally destroyed in ways. But I had my withdrawals. I had my times where I wanted to say fucking and go back so bad. I would get into arguments with my own family over it. Because they would always be like, you can do better than this. Don't go back to that. You can do better. And I would just constantly tell them, no, I can't. I don't deserve better. I really don't. Like, this is the best I can do. And that went on for about 2 to 3 months straight before I finally realized that what she did was wrong. And there were nights where I had just the worst nightmares about the names that she called me, everything that she did to me. And there were nights where I would honestly lay there and just cry and just bawl my eyes out, wondering why me. Out of anybody that this could have happened to, why did it have to be me? Why did I have to be the one to get mentally abused? Why did I have to be the one to get put down? And I didn't understand it. And to this day, I still don't understand how or even why that even happened. But that right there was honestly one of the darkest periods in my entire life. Like, that was one of my, like, literally, for me, that was basically emotionally, rock bottom for me. Like, that was the rock bottom for me. You know, and something else that she did that was part of the reason why I left was, as fucked up as this is she actually, we were actually FaceTiming at one point, and we were sitting down talking, and we usually would talk throughout the night. So we would have our stuff on, we would leave our FaceTime up and just talk throughout the night or whatever. Well, the way the house that she used to live in was set up was I could see out of her room and into her brother's room, because it was like doorway, hall, doorway. Well, she thought that she had gotten off of FaceTime because, it was getting late and I was headed to bed. And, and I thought that she had turned her FaceTime off, but no, she had it minimized. And I was laying there sleeping. I was like, all right, whatever, like, just leave it alone. Maybe I'll catch her in the morning or whatever. Well, I started hearing this noise, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm looking around, not knowing and not realizing that it's coming from my computer. I had no idea that it was coming from my computer at the time. I was like, what's that sound? Like, I kept hearing this moaning, screaming. I figured like maybe it was like the neighbors or whatever. But I wake up and I realize that it's coming from my computer screen, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Like, did some kind of adult site ad pop up or something or whatever? So I went to check, and I had pulled everything up. I was like, no, there's no ads. And I pull up FaceTime just by random click, and what I saw next to this day still haunts me. I found Rebekkah having an affair with her older brother-in-law. I caught her in bed fucking her brother-in-law while her sister was at work, because her sister used to work night shifts at, I think it was like a restaurant or something, I don't know. But while her sister was gone, Rebekkah was secretly having sex with her brother-in-law behind not only my back but her sister's back. And granted, yeah, her sister and her brother-in-law, they work things out and stuff. But let me tell you, when I saw that sight, my heart sank to my stomach. I honestly felt sick to my stomach for about a week after seeing that. And I just kept asking myself, how? Why? Like, what did I do wrong to make her do this? And I asked myself that so many times. Like, how could this happen? What did I do? Like, did I do something wrong? And after that, you know, I finally realized, I was like, you know what, enough is enough. I need to leave. And, right at that point, after I saw that, I left. I went on to Anivide. I blocked her. I went on Facebook. I blocked her. I did everything I could to get rid of her. I blocked her number on my Google Voice, on my cell phone, everything. And, you know, and like I said, that was the most lowest part of my life. And, it's hard for me to talk about because of what she put me through. And as a result of that and what she did, I do suffer from, mental issues. Like, I have a very hard time, trusting people. I'm easily bullied because of it. Whenever somebody tears me down, I go right back into that mindset of what if they're right. And the reason why it's so hard for me to be with somebody as a result of that and what she did is because when I'm with somebody, I'm constantly worrying, are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? Like, am I doing everything right? Am I not doing something right? Like, am I good enough? Like, do I truly deserve to be happy? Like, do I deserve this? And nobody that I've been with seems to understand just what I'm going through and what it's like to be in that mentally abused state of mind. Yes, I might seem like I'm normal and calm and stuff on the outside, but on the inside, my mind is a mess. Like, I am legitimately broken down mentally and emotionally. And a lot of people don't understand how that affects my everyday life. Like, especially with the most recent breakup of me and my now ex Abby and everything that happened with that didn't help matters at all. Like, that just made it worse. But the things, the things I think about daily are, do I deserve to be happy? Why can't I find anybody that actually understands what I'm going through? Like, why can't I find that one person that I can be with that will stick by me and help me through this? And, and let me know that, they're not going anywhere. And that's what I deal with every day. That's why I'm not with anyone. Because nobody can handle the issues that I go through every day because of what Rebekkah did. Because when I'm with somebody, you know, I do post about them on Facebook, and I do try. I try to show people, hey, this is who I'm with. I'm happy, yada yada yada. All that stuff. But every day there's always that fear of losing them. Like, even if they have a job and they go to work, I always have that fear that they're gonna find somebody else at work, and I'm not gonna be good enough. They're gonna wind up leaving me and yada, and everything like that. And that's why it's so hard for me to be with anybody because of the mental abuse that Rebekkah put me through for about 4.5 years. 4.5 years of mental and verbal abuse. And honestly, if it wasn't for my brother Sean Sands, I would not have come out yesterday and flipped out on Rebekkah like I did. He gave me the courage to stand up and say enough is enough. So Sean, thank you, man. You helped me more than you know, bro. You really have, man. Like, you helped me big time. You helped me see that I need to say something. But that's why I can't be with anybody hardly, because nobody is willing to stick by me and help me through my problems and help me deal with them and help me face them. And that's one of the biggest reasons. But the other reason, which is like a small reason, is because, I don't drink, I don't smoke weed or cigarettes, and I don't do drugs, and I don't drink alcohol or anything, and I don't party. Not me. I'm not the partying kind of person. I mean, like, if we're going out to hang out at a friend's house, if it's like a family party or whatever, like a Christmas party or something, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. I have no problem with that. But like this partying that everybody does, that's not me. I'm not about the partying lifestyle. I'm about my artwork. I'm about my career. And everybody hates that about me. And everybody hates the fact that I have to stay at home to take care of my mom, who was hit by a car 2 years ago and can't do very much now. I have to help my mom everything down the stairs, just with simple stuff, with walking, cleaning, picking stuff up. So while our roommate works during the day, I stay here at the house to help her because she can't really do anything at all. Because let me tell you something. It was actually on the local radio here a little bit too. It was weird. It was ironic. It was on the local radio about what happened. She was hit by a car getting off the metro bus to cross the street to come home. It was about a half block up the road. And when she was hit by the car, it was doing about 25 to 30 miles an hour, and the car threw her 10 feet. From where she was standing, it threw her 10 feet down the road. And luckily, all she escaped with were minor bruises and a few scrapes, and, obviously some bone issues because of it. So instead of being able to work for a living, I stay here at home to make a career out of what I do best, which is my artwork. Because I am unable to work because I had to take care of my mom, who was hit by a car, who may never be able to go without help ever again because of it as a result of that. I mean, yeah, I can go out and have a good time, ha ha ha, get drunk, go drinking and do this and that. I could go do that, yeah. Any given time, I could go do that, but I don't. I've had friends offer me on multiple occasions out to a bar and hang out and drink or whatever, but that's not me. Every time they ask, I turn them down because my family is more important than getting drunk, getting high, and doing something stupid that could ultimately end me back up in jail for a second time. If you guys don't know, yes, I was in jail one other time back in 2012 for my ex getting in my head, and as a result, I blacked out, not knowing it, and I wound up hurting my mom and went to jail for 24 hours because of it. But I don't want to go back to jail again for something worse. I don't want to be responsible for somebody else's potential death. And I don't want to die like my older brother did to lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. And I don't want to die like my now ex bandmate and past friend Brian from my high school band did. I don't want to die from smoking weed and doing drugs like he did. Oh my gosh. But that's why I don't that's why I don't party or do anything. And that's one of the other reasons why it's hard for me to be with anyone. Is because nobody likes the fact that I don't do that stuff. I don't see the point in it. Like, I don't see the point in drinking, getting drunk, and doing stupid shit. I don't see the point. And around here, that's what everybody's about. Everybody's about partying. You know, they're about getting drunk and getting high. And as a result of that, and they judge people physically and not, getting to know them. But now you guys know the truth about how Rebekkah mentally and verbally abused me and why it's so hard for me to be with anyone. It's not that I don't want to be with anybody. I would love to be happy. I would love to have, a girlfriend that I can get married to. I would love to settle down and have kids. I would absolutely love that. But because of what I went through, nobody wants to be with me because nobody can handle, my issue and what I go through. Like every time I open up about it to them, they turn around and run. They turn around and run in the other direction because they don't want to deal with somebody like me who has issues that will fight to get through those issues. Like they say that they'll fight with me, but then when it comes to actually fighting those issues with me, they turn around and run. Instead of standing by my side and telling me that it's going to be okay and that they're not going anywhere and that, we're going to get through it together, they turn around and run and say that I need to be a man and that I need to grow up and get over it. That's what every person I try to get with tells me. And that's why it's so hard for me to be with anybody. But honestly, guys, if it wasn't for Sean, my brother, I would not have the courage to sit here and come forward about what really happened with me. It it took a lot for me to come out and say what happened. And what started all this from yesterday up to now is mine and Rebecca's friend, Rochelle Barber. And Rebecca was using her to try to talk to me. Rochelle was like, hey, like, you need to talk to her. Here's her number, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking, no. But unfortunately, I did unfortunately wind up blocking Rochelle because she just wouldn't stop. And she wasn't going to abandon Rebekkah. Even after I told her what Rebekkah was really doing and how Rebekkah was using her to get to me. But ultimately, she sided with Rebekkah, and I lost a good friend out of it, unfortunately. But I know that if I were to go back, that evil, vicious cycle that I got out of after 4.5 years would spawn back up. And I don't want that. I want to have a better life. I want to be free from this dark bullshit that I'm stuck with every day. You see, it's not very easy for me to trust anyone now as far as being with somebody. It's very hard for me to trust them because of what Rebekkah put me through. I'm always constantly scared that they're going to leave and that they're going to do something. And I'm going to get hurt. Because when I'm with somebody, that is my biggest fear, is losing them. And it's because of what Rebekkah did to me that I have that fear. And nobody seems to understand how what Rebekkah did to me, they don't seem to get how that affects me even now. Is it fair what she did to me? Not at all. But, better, and I want to be better than what I was. I want my old self back from before I met her. And that's what I'm working on every day, is to get my old self back. Because I want to be able to be with somebody and trust them again, knowing that they're not going to go anywhere, knowing that I'm not going to get hurt again. That's what I ultimately want, is I want to be happy again with somebody and know that they're the one that I'm meant to be with, and that I'm not going to get hurt again. Because I don't want a repeat of what Rebekkah did to me. Because of her, I have nightmares about what she did to me. And it's the worst thing in the world. I constantly think about what she did to me every day and how it affected me. And, I want to be a better person. I want to be able to be with somebody and be able to be myself 100%. Instead of having to, put on that rock star persona that I had to put on for so many years with people because of me being in the music scene like I was. And thankfully, I don't have to about that anymore. But that's not the point. I want to be able to be with somebody and wake up next to them in the morning knowing that they're the one and that they're not going anywhere. But I hope you guys now know what Rebekkah did to me, how it affected me, and how it ultimately affects me not being able to be with anyone. Like I said, even now it's hard to deal with. And, people say I need help and, that I need to see a therapist and everything like that. And believe me, I tried that. But the therapist, the shrinks, those don't work for shit. Because they don't truly understand what I went through. They say they do, but they don't. But some of my best friends in the world, and you guys know exactly who you are. I don't need to say your names at all. You guys know who you are. And those of you that know who you are, you guys are the ones that are helping me more than anything. Because you guys have been there too. You know what it's like. And I just want to say thank you guys to every single one of you who has been helping me to get through this and get past all this. Like I said, guys, I hope you guys do understand how Rebekkah mentally and verbally abused me for 4.5 years and how that all affects me even now, and why it's so hard for me to be with anyone because of what she did to me. With that being said, guys, I'm about to hop off here, and I'll see you guys later.